Hey, I just wanted to hop on here today and talk a little bit about communication. Not sure if you guys have heard of the iceberg communication, where there's three different levels and layers. That top layer is called the surface layer. That's usually our words, our behaviors, the event, the facts of what happened. Uh, and usually we're going to speak that out loud with no problems. Then the second level or second layer is the middle layer, and that reveals our feelings, the emotion behind that event, or how we felt about that event. Um, and some of those emotions could be sadness, loneliness, fear, anxiety, of course, that could be happiness, joy, peace in that situation. And then the third layer is the deepest layer, which I would say most of us have a hard time getting to the deepest layer of communication, or we never even get there. And that deepest level of communication is what you need. It's our request, so it's our belief, it's our identity. Um, that's a hidden layer in communication. Like I said, most of us have a hard time getting there, but it's also what we need, as far as we need to feel safe, we need to feel loved, we need to feel like we belong, accepted, our purpose, our connection with others. And real growth and change begins to happen when you can get into that deepest layer of communication. uh, I know that it's difficult, it's hard, and it's hard for some of us to even be transparent with how we're feeling. That can be vulnerable and it can be scary to share that. I know I've heard before, when we stay in that top layer and that surface layer where all we do is state the event, the facts of what happened, sometimes we can even be mistaken as being critical, because it's not that we're critical, it's just that it's difficult for us to voice our feelings or get to that deepest level of communication style. Some of us, like I said, were never taught on how to communicate, but actually, the nervous system shifts into a protection mode whenever we begin to feel emotionally unsafe. So, if you have a hard time voicing how you feel, of course, that's foreign territory for you. And so, it's difficult for you to voice that. Um, like, here's an example of surface versus deep communication. You never, surface level, you never listen to me. Or are they really saying you never listen? We've got to go deeper. What's behind that? Well, the deeper need, I need to feel heard. I need to feel valued. And um, here's another example of surface. I'm fine. I'm sure most of us have done that on Sunday mornings at church. Everybody's, how are you? I'm fine. How are you doing? When really, we really have something going on we need to talk about, but we put on that good Christian smile, say, I'm fine, and walk on through the door and find our seats. But instead of I'm fine at that surface level, the deeper emotion is I'm overwhelmed and afraid to talk about it. We're not really fine. We've got something going on and there's something deeper, but we just don't know how to voice that to that person. And why? Because it takes vulnerability. Uh, Many times, whenever I can remember years ago, I thought, when I went to church, I was walking into church on a Sunday morning. I had a lot going on. And so I thought, you know what? When they ask me, how are you doing? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say how I feel this time. And what's really bothering me. So when the greeter, and I actually knew the greeter, she asked me, how are you doing? I thought, I'm not going to say I'm fine. My typical Sunday answer. I'm going to be honest. And I said, you know what? I'm really struggling inside and I'm having a difficult time right now uh, with some things that's going on. And when I opened up and shared that to the person I knew and the greeter at church, she was like, well, you can go on in and just find your seat. Go ahead and go on in. So why is it hard for us to get to that deeper level of communication? Well, like that, sometimes we feel rejected. And then that hurts. That hurts when we finally get brave enough to say how we feel, and then we're just scooted on along. Uh, but healing actually often begins when people begin to move beyond that surface, beyond the surface behaviors, beyond the surface words, and they learn to recognize the emotions, the beliefs, the unmet needs that you have underneath. And then you begin to communicate that. Then it begins to show in your emotional regulation, connection with others instead of avoidance. You have self awareness, healthy relationships, and whole person wellness. So I just want to encourage you, pay attention to the way you communicate. Just even if it starts with one person that you can trust some, start working on going to that middle layer and then that deeper layer of communication so that real transformation can begin to happen. And if you want to reach out, don't forget I offer that a free discovery session where we can see if we're a good fit, to see if there's anything that I can help you with. You can go to my website at onetogethercoaching.com or call me at 931 308 8454. I can't wait to talk with you.